Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of NetHeads, and it's time to dip into that little thing we like to call the app of the week, trying to extend a little help out there. Now, last week we talked about Alarmy. This week we're talking about a new one, and I can definitely tell you, I know this one is available in the iOS store as well as the App Store on Google Play. And this isn't a new app, really. People have probably heard about this, except for my co-host, who actually told me I have no idea what that is.
What is it, Will?
It's Waze, W-A-Z-E. But you didn't even know what Waze was either, right?
I don't know what waves are. I know I know what waves are.
I don't know. I want to know what the way is.
I want to know what Waze is.
And you know what, Trent? I'm going to tell you. Waze actually, it's a great thing. It's a GPS, is what it is. Okay, so it's a GPS that you can put on your smartphone. But the great thing is, it's a community GPS. So, like, let's say you're driving along and suddenly you hit a slowdown. You can do a gesture, or you can, if you're got your whatever your laws are in your state, but if you can touch the screen, you could report the accident. And let's say I'm a half an hour down the road, Trent, and I get notification. Oh, look, something has changed. In this case, let's go ahead and tell you to go this other. We're going to change your course. We're going to make life a little better for you. That's what Waze is. It's kind of like a community reporting system. So that way, the users end up benefiting the entire community on getting great directions. If that's not enough for you, Trent, because you're like, well, I got my Google Maps, or I got the iOS apps. Okay, there was a time, Trent, you could have had the Terminator giving you directions. Right now, you could have Stephen Colbert giving you the directions. You could have Neil Patrick Harris.
The play-by-play is all done by him.
Yes, exactly. It's another thing they do as a cross-promotional item. They go ahead and they funnel this out there through that. Isn't that a great idea?
I like it.
So it's a way to promote, but also it's a way for the community to help themselves. I get people thanking me for the items I report. They thank other people for the items. It's a big back and forth reciprocity. But best of all, it's never gone wrong. The only thing I've ever experienced is when I'm thick-headed enough to think I know better, and then I get there later than it originally said.
and you're like, piece of shit app doesn't. I can see in front of me which lane's going to be faster. Doesn't know anything.
It didn't grow up out here. It doesn't know these roads like I do.
It's not Cali born and bred, yo.
No, it's not. But you know what it is, Trent? It's smart with the maths. So let's let it do its thing. Yes. Folks, I'm telling you right now, if there's any one thing you're going to really enjoy, it's going to be an effortless drive that you'll get if you're running Waze in your car. You're trying to get around. It's W-A-Z, the Z-E, W-A-Z-E Waze. You can find it there. It'll help you get around. It'll be a good time for all. Go ahead, check it out. That's the app for the app of the week here on NetHeads. With clever meme, with funny tweet, I'll never leave my office seat. Those who think they know what's right, listen on Sundays to NetHeads, all right?
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd and stuff.
Nerd culture is mainstream now. So when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek, giving you the info you need to achieve mega nerd status. NetHeads.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
That's right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of NetHeads. My name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
That sounded a little shticky. Sorry, everybody. Anyway, if you want to take part in the program, you can. One of many ways. One of them, Twitter. Trent, how do they do that?
Well, NetHeads, NetHeads. Use the hashtag NetHeads. That fracking cat just said that he uses the app that we just cold opened with called Waze. Z-E. And dude, he's in SoCal, so like of all places, that's the place to use it. You can be like Caper Girl Mel. She uses the hashtag NetHeads. So does DJ Shameless, our good friend, longtime listener, Diane, Todd625, who was just hanging out with me on the Twitch channel, Roller Dog NC, Thor has got a whole host of others. Hashtag NetHeads.
Obviously, the place
whether you're
to
listening
be.
now or on the podcast, it doesn't matter.
By the way, Trent, I got to tell you, one of the things that you just don't get used to around here is, oh my God, that's horrible too. Lee Velasquez, ZDigital13 on Twitter. Just because we're doing this and we do this video thing every once in a while, people end up having NetHeads on their televisions.
Yeah.
And the look on your face in that screen capture, all I can say is there is a man that truly he loves his podcasting. Okay,
So
he doesn't
much.
he just doesn't love it. He loves
Yeah.
it.
Like I love it like Adam loved Eve.
Yeah, there you go. It is
Or
that
Steve,
is some.
or Steve, I'm not here to say who came first. But I do know it was a guy because let's be honest, anyone that has like, dude, we're weak. We're so weak. If the wind blows hard enough, it's like, yeah, give it back. And that's it. So it will always be either Adam and Eve or Adam and Steve, but Adam is a selfish fucker, is what I know.
Well, what about Eve and Eve? Or Adam and Eve, or even
Well,
Adam
I
and
mean,
Adam.
No, I know, but like in this scenario, a dude's gonna come first, regardless. Like,
What about-
he'll even just think about like Eve and Eva, and he's like, oh, skeet, he's done. Like,
what about Adam and Eve and Stella and Steve?
Yeah, well, Adam had that idea and blew it.
It really is just starting to sound like a really inappropriate
Just that
Dr. Seuss
simple.
story.
Yeah,
Anyway.
The sneeches with stars on their peaches.
By the
Their
way,
peach snacks.
I just have
Nut.
to say, during the one episode of Rick and Morty where it was Rick dating a hive mind.
Oh yeah.
There was when the hive mind lost control of the host planet's people. I had a certain kind of like sneeches and snitches kind of feel when suddenly there was all of the people that were of the different nipple clans.
Yes, exactly.
But
Yeah.
but they just weren't like protesting. They really that was some race hate is what it was.
Yeah, no, it was. That was some full-on any outie hatred, man.
And if you want to take part in the program another way, very simple on Skype, NetHeads on Air. That's the easiest way. You can also give us a call, 866-610-9455, or last but not least, Yak Bet 9020.
90-20.
I love the Yak Bet because
Yeah.
you know what? Always bet on Yak. I can't
Yeah.
believe it's taken us this long to say that.
Yeah, I always bet on Yak.
As Wesley Snipes told us, always bet on Yak.
Yeah, I'm almost positive he said that.
I'm pretty sure. Anyway, and for those of you that are watching live and for some reason putting us up on your TVs, no, there's nothing wrong with the electricity in my room. And I just have determined that as long as we're going to do the video thing, that's fine. But it's going to just be kind of a cinema verite experience. I'm not going to, because Trent clearly with that screen cap, we know he doesnn't pander to the camera. No.
If anything, it's just like I hope the camera doesn't see what I do all the time.
That is part of the reason why I still think we shouldn't do video.
Anyway, dude, that's the reason to do video.
Okay, fair enough. You know what? You can't argue with where the internet's making money, right?
Of course.
Yeah. But anyway, YakBet 9020 if you want to give us a phone call. So Trent, I don't know if you know this. We're kind of in a weird place. We just did a show on Sunday to make up for the show we didn't do on. No, wait a minute. Strike that. Reverse it. We did a show on Thursday because we didn't do a show on Sunday.
Right.
But Thursday was just 2 days ago. I really feel like now that we've done the app of the week, like maybe one Trent Tech story and get the hell out of here because we've already done this, right?
Yeah.
Been
there, done that. Bought the spice latte. White girls.
Oh my gosh. It's back. The pumpkin spice latte is back.
It's here. It's not going anywhere, at least until New Year's. Get used to it.
I don't know what the obsession with squash coffee is, but people love it.
Yeah, I think it's just an excuse to get fattening coffee and be like, it's the season. I like the season, and it makes me feel all warm.
We're going to have 100-degree temperatures here for the next week. I'm not exactly feeling very fall-like.
It is, if anyone can see, 58 degrees right now outside here, and we're looking to get it freezing temperatures for the end of the week.
Trent, I have a funny feeling though. You're happy about it.
Oh, sweet Jesus, I'm so happy about it. You can
All right,
always
so-
dress. You can always dress for warm. You can never dress for cold, or vice versa. You can always dress for cold. You can never dress for warm.
Exactly. Or as I like to put it, once you're naked and still hot, you're screwed, and not the way you like.
Yeah, but you're always hot, Will.
Oh, Trent, you
You're-
silly.
You're
You
naked, and you're hot, and you're clothes, and you're hot. You're just hot.
You just stop. You're just a tease. Just quit it.
So
I
hot.
keep forgetting we're doing video now. I shouldn't do things like that.
No,
Anyway,
you should.
I know. I'm officially at the point. Other than having these silly superhero heads back here to help give me a little diversity and nerd cred, I'm ignoring the fact that we're doing video from now on. As a matter of fact, I'll take direction, but that's under protest. Trent.
Yeah. So you'll take direction like if a director was like, okay, now you did really well, but I want you to do it again this time, but with more capriciousness. Can you do that?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
is that what you mean?
No,
by
I
taking
got it,
direction?
boss. No, I got it, boss.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, let's just run it again.
And of course, the first take was, I'll do this under protest. So now here's the second take. You ready?
Yeah.
I'll do this under protest.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
what you
much
were
better.
looking for?
Thank you.
I take direction like purportedly Bruce Willis does.
Thank you, Mr. Willis.
You're very
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
By the way, Trent, I got to tell you, I have been surrounded this weekend by like pure class. First of all, I don't know if I've ever shown this on via photograph in any way, but I have this that I picked up in Texas when Blair was born. And that's an extra large insulated solo cup. Just so you know, I'm keeping it classy. And to go hand in hand with that, I apparently have a clear solo style cup filled with cheese balls today.
Ooh, cheese
Well,
balls.
that's the exact thing that goes through my head every time I see these barrels of them that they have at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And earlier,
are they Utz?
no, these are just Safeway brand.
Ooh,
So
be
out there.
careful. I don't know.
No, Trent,
Once
trust
you
me.
go Utz, never want to go butts.
Well, I don't know what that means. I'm just telling you, I think when it comes to the technology of a little puffed piece of something covered in pseudo cheddar powder, I don't think they really have to go very far to achieve a certain level of quality there.
No,
You know what
not
I mean?
at all.
So but I've got those rocking. So I just wanted you to know that's the level of class you're dealing with on this end of the mic today.
Yeah.
Hope you're okay with that.
Dude, you're talking to someone who literally has been eating generic macaroni and cheese. It's been 2 years out of date for a month.
You know what though? If this were
Look,
here's
it's
the
called
thing.
Value Time macaroni and cheese, and it went out of date in 2013.
Trent, let me tell you something though, okay? Anybody that hears that and judges you, I want them to imagine that same box of mac and cheese 2 years beyond the date, except it's the world of The Walking Dead and nobody's delivering groceries anymore.
Yeah.
Right now, you're a smart mother trucker, and you what you've been dining on has been good quality food.
Oh, what I've been dying on has been, like, oh God, I want to go to a gourmet restaurant, but I want some fucking mac and cheese. And you know what? You don't even need to have milk, because if you use enough margarine in it, it kind of tastes like you had milk to put in it, because that's what Trent always does, and it tastes great.
It tastes fine.
Yeah.
So there.
Pieces of shit.
Wow. Okay. I don't even. You threw me for such a loop. I don't even know where I was going there.
That's fine.
But anyway, the cheese balls, they came from the grocery store because my wife she's had a migraine, right? And I don't know how, I guess cravings come in line with migraines.
Nothing worse than a migraine. Nothing.
Yeah. So my wife has been, we're really, I don't want to say lucky, but it is kind of lucky that I'm in here right now. But my niece is staying the night. So that's kind of like a support system there for watching Blair. But anyway, so I brought back the things that my wife requested from the grocery store, and they were on the counter. She did not ask for the cheese balls. These are something only I look at and adore and love. They remind me, they taste like childhood, Trent.
Yeah. Oh, dude, don't they though? And like, are you one of those dudes that like sometimes you put one in your mouth and you kind of just mash it into the top of your mouth with your tongue to the point where it just destroys the top of your mouth into like hamburger, so that then when you eat another one, it absorbs it even faster and you just taste all that cheesy goodness.
It's not quite that graphic, but I will put it in my mouth. And what I do is I now I don't want to see that same face again that we saw on the screen cap a moment ago.
I don't
Trent.
know what you're talking about.
But I like to put it on my tongue. And then what I do is I gently suck on it, just gently, Trent,
Yeah.
gently suck on it. And it slowly just collapses in on itself into just a cheddary, cheesy paste.
Oh God.
Yeah. Tastes like childhood. Anyway, I brought that home, and it's in a ridiculous big jar of cheese balls.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing was I was holding Blair, and then quite uncharacteristic for me, I set her down on the island in the middle of the kitchen, and she ended up working her way right over there to the big ball of cheese balls, or big barrel. I don't know what to call it. Big barrel of cheese balls.
It's even like pressed in plastic to look like a barrel.
Exactly. And she just hugged it and then had the biggest expression of happiness on her face. And I'm like, that's exactly how I feel about those.
Yeah.
That's it right there on the head.
It's the best.
That's why
things.
that's why kids are amazing, is because you get to experience the true joy you feel and get it right there. Done. What is it looks like what's his name? Fresh23 on Twitter, Doug posted the link.
What's up, Doug?
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, if you're listening to us through Sir, you can watch us through video somehow, but Old Man Wilkins is in charge, so screw it if you can find it, whatever.
Yeah.
As I told Trent, screw it, they can hear it. If they can figure out how to watch us, good on them.
Thanks, Fresh.
Yeah, so, but thanks for putting that out there, man. We appreciate that. So anyway, Trent, one of the things we like to do on the program, we already told them about an app, an amazing way to help them with their world. The other thing we like to do is we like to turn our attention to some other stuff. So before we get into the Talk Force Friday, I think it's best that instead we kind of get
Tech
into...
news.
There you go. Trent, tech it
Tech
up!
news. It's party time. And excellent.
Tech news.
Trent Tech.
I don't know what to do when these things are on now.
Trent Tech.
And that's the problem with these coming from my side, Trent. I have to then at least select another audio channel, or guaranteed I'm going to be up. You know what I mean?
Oh, where it goes back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we like to look, folks. This isn't the tech news you're going to get going through Google.
No,
you're not going to get it through the AP. No, this is literally the Trent version of tech news, and you can only get it. You can only get it one place, folks. Smodcast.com. Anyway, Trent, why don't you go ahead and share with us what you got in mind for us today,
dude? Two stories that I want to get to for sure. Holy shit, Japan, I love you. Japan, I mean, they make robots, like real robots all the time and shit. And they've done one recently, like, you know, those big like robotic arms that they always like use to make cars and shit that you always see. You know, just like the industrial robot, like, which is basically just a hydraulic arm.
Yeah, the primary example of like assembly line robotic automation.
Yeah, exactly. So the Yakusawa Electric Corporation has developed, they took one of their highest end industrial robots, and they worked out a way to where it can mimic a human's actions in front of it. And then they brought in a Bushido swordsman, and they put a fucking sword in the industrial robot's arm. I'm going to tweet it out right now on the NetHeads Twitter account. Holy shit, dude. It will blow your mind when you watch this. Like, we are so close to having straight up samurai robots walking around, cutting people's heads off. Like, the video is insane. It shows all the shit that it cuts up. Oh, man. Do you realize what this means, Will?
It means that the robots can finally rise up against their oppressors and take us down.
They'll all be Ronin, because they don't fucking need to work for anybody. You know what I mean?
Oh my god! Can you imagine that? It's like
very cool though. But and that's what's so crazy, like that people can refer to that as a robot. Because for me, a robot needs to have like 2 arms. It needs to look like Robbie the robot at the very least. You know what I mean? No, not in this case. Holy shit. It's so cool. If you're following along using the hashtag NetHeads and tweeting it out from NetHeads on air, one of the coolest videos you will watch all week. I swear to God, you're welcome for that. Next up, Will.
Oh wait,
Trent
by the way,
Tech.
Trent, before you go with that, just want to
Yeah.
do a special shit out. Yeah, why not?
Shit
Z-
out.
Digital13 on Twitter. Happy birthday, man. Thank you for always being there. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
dude.
it.
Happy birthday.
As you were.
One love, you and yours. And dude, it's also a week since his anniversary as well. I want to say 7 or 8 years with his wife. He and Crystal. Congrats, guys.
Long time, right? Oh, cool. Now I can finally see the video while you talk.
So, oh man, dude, I can't even tell you how stoked I am about this. There is a website. It's like an innovative. So there's a guy. He lives in Austria. His name's Francesco Macari or something like that. He's a designer. And the start of the week, he kind of broke the internet with a new thing that he came out with. Again, I'm going to tweet this out. He calls it the dildo maker. Okay. Now, and this, which,
hold on.
Seem...
Trent, there was a bit of neck congestion. Did you just say the Bilbo maker?
No, there is no bag ends in this at all.
There's no unexpected journey here.
Nope. No,
well,
there's only to there. There is no back again. Right? You go to Mordor and then you fall in.
Okay.
Head first.
Gotcha.
It is called the dildo maker. And I'm tweeting out right now. This is what first got posted out on the internet. And people kind of went crazy thinking like, holy shit. So literally, I could now turn anything, I repeat, anything into a dildo. And how it works is it looks just like a classic pencil sharpener. Like when you go to school and you stick a phallic object in and then you crank it. Well, this is the internal device makes it anything look like a penis head.
Okay.
So there's pictures there. Obviously the first one you're going to try is a carrot. Sure, that one's a no-brainer. Then he puts up a sausage, a bratwurst, if you will. Done, right? However, the Huffington Post, as I too fell in love with this, track this dude.
Hold on, dude. The thing that you're missing about this is that it appears the way. Wait, hold on. Is this just an image processor, or is it literally like a giant pencil sharpener that puts the head of a penis on things?
So that's the idea, right? That you could take a phallic symbol, stick it in, turn the crank, pull it out, and you have a cock. Right?
All right. Well, yes, sir.
And the Huffington Post, they may have in some of the best verbiage I've ever read in a spoiler alert. They're saying, be careful before you run out to Trader Joe's and start picking up the most organic dildo you can find. This guy is just a designer. He's like a graphic designer. He is not a tinkerer or an inventor or anything like that. And so when they talk to him, he's like, oh, no. He said on my website, I probably should have put this in the art section more so than I should have put it, say, in the innovation section.
Right.
Because he has no plans to develop this. However, he does now suspect that after putting it out there, it'll be probably like a year before someone does the exact same thing and sells the shit out of it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Somebody's already 3D printed up like 40 different prototypes.
Oh yeah, totally. They just got to figure out, how to make the packaging so that there's no implication that you could put your own penis in there.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's going to end poorly for everyone involved.
I've never liked this shape. I want a more I want a more natural look.
Gosh, yeah, I want it more, whatever. Anyway. Whew.
I think
it was really funny.
The term. I want it more symmetrical.
Symmetrical. Thank you. It's this asymmetrical penis of mine is just really unbecoming.
I love it, friend. Thank you so much for bringing that one.
Yeah. I've got more tech, but if you're ready if you want to talk about First Friday, dude, maybe. I'm always ready to talk about the Star Wars.
Well, here's the thing, Trent. I think Saturday probably brought the best thing I ever saw about Force Friday about. That sounds weird, but first I was saying it was about something. Then I was using the term as in about face. You know, it's brought something to anyway. What it was a story that a guy published about how he had tweeted on Force Friday, how he had stayed up and gone to a store at midnight. And the funny thing is, this is the same Toys R Us that used to be the Toys R Us of my childhood. It's only 20 minutes away.
Oh, no shit.
In Pleasant Hill. Yeah,
That's cool, man.
If I'm in that area, that's the Toys R Us I go to.
Yeah, because it's, I mean, you know that one.
Yeah, and essentially what he was saying was he went there and he was saying that retailers seem to have not really planned out Force Friday very well. It didn't address the needs of the community, if you will. You know, all of the diehard Star Wars fans, parents, fanatics, whoever you are, all of you weren't served well because they didn't have enough of the new stuff, especially like the 6 1/4-inch figures or the 3 7/8 or whatever the fuck they are.
Dude, the 6-inch black figures went so fast.
Yeah, and
no,
so
they're called black, like because it's not because of the character who is, you know, African American, the guy that plays it, the box.
Not just thin.
They're called the black figures because they come in black packaging. It's like a special like. Whoo! Never mind.
Yeah, just let it ride, man. Let it ride. Because you know what, dude? Everyone's gonna take it their own way. You could say the black figures. Some of them are just gonna think all the Finn figures. They're not gonna know it was the limited edition ones. You know, they're like, right on, brother. Not Obama won't take away my guns. Just let it ride, man.
Yeah, it's about heritage. About heritage, not hate, people.
Let it be interpreted whatever way it is going to be, man. But with the figures, so apparently, I didn't pursue anything. I didn't try and go out and get anything. My wife and child did buy me a set of barbecue tongs, though, where the handle looks like Darth Vader's lightsaber handle, and when you click it open, it naturally makes some lightsaber noises. So. It's really nice. And it has a plastic sheath that is red, so it becomes a lightsaber.
A lightsaber,
in essence.
Sure.
So I did have something on Force Friday, and I thought it was great that my daughter caught wind of Force Friday, and she thought it was nice that Dad would have something. But, you know, there are other people that took this very seriously, including this guy, and he did like a tweet about it, and it became a full story, and it became a meme. And my favorite thing is that I think 8 hours later, I saw a tweet from Melissa Staten, I don't know her name. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, I should say. But she on Twitter said, she retweeted it, but said, this is a story about a grown man complaining about not getting toys.
But it was like really heartfelt though, right? Like
yes, it really was. But it boiled, because at first I was like, well, man, that's a real bummer for these people. They were really looking forward to it. They were into it, you know, and I felt bad. And then she said that, and I'm like, well, yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, I didn't go get something.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's probably most stories are about like just adults complaining about what things they didn't get. Like, I guess if everything was written through the perspective of like a 12-year-old would be like, oh, whiny piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's so sad he couldn't share such an event with his kids. Jesus, get a room.
Oh, well, dude, I think part of what got people was when in the story, this guy dragged his fiance to the store as well. And mind you, they were in town, I think, for a reunion or a wedding or something for the holiday. Yeah. You know, they weren't from this area. They were from LA. And so there was one part in the story, though, where seeing the line for the figures aisle, he sent his fiance to the Lego aisle, and she got one of the things he wanted for him and brought it back to him. And then at the point when he saw that there were no figures, he even looked at the land speeder thing in his hand and thought about putting it back. And there were people in the comments that were like, you fucking piece of shit. She went to go get that for you.
The fuck were you doing?
Yeah, you should marry that girl. How could you think about putting it back?
Oh shit, that's so funny.
It's just amazing. The internet truly is a gigantic double-edged sword. It is just amazing the things that you never know which way the tide will go on things. For Force Friday, I think the better part, though, that I got out of it, the stuff that I thought was cool, was just some of the things that we have learned from the series, the new movie, just from the toys.
Oh my gosh, exactly. Yeah, dude. Like, for example, we found out that what's his name isn't a Sith. Like the dark lord that everyone's like, whoa, that lightsaber wouldn't work. And then Stephen Colbert's like, oh yeah, it will, you bitches.
Okay, now I'm going to have to bust out the fact that apparently my geek cred a little higher than yours right now, at least in this category. Granted, in some of the comic categories, I am going to have a -10 intellect. In this case, I've got a little bit of a boost.
I make up for charisma.
You're talking about Kylo Ren, and apparently, I believe that's not his exact name. I think he is a Kylo of like the Ren group. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so it in and of itself is a title, like a Sith or a
exactly
a dark.
However, not a Sith. Another thing we found out is apparently Finn, I believe at some point in the series, is taking orders from
from Jake the dog.
No, from the chrome covered stormtrooper looking whose name I can't remember. So now once again I've lost cred.
Yeah, and that was one of the things on Force Friday that I think that actually looked really cool were like costume sets for that's the gray stormtrooper.
Well, the thing that we got revealed is like the mask says FN and some numbers, please commence firing or commence attack. And then one of the toys is Finn saying the same thing, FN, and then the numbers, I don't know what to do, and he's stressed out. So it's like two totally non-related toys having two different parts of dialogue as well.
Right, yeah.
But we all know, I mean, the big thing from the story is that the quote-unquote Force Awakens, which I guess is the J.J. Abrams written script version of the finale of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where they found the ultimate scepter and through it Willow casted a spell and activated all potential slayers. So they all became vampire slayers in that one moment. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
All having equal power. And I think that's the same thing behind The Force Awakens. The Force is, it's been this like passive force, this thing that connects us between us and whatever all they say.
Well, and has just been misunderstood for a generation. You know what I mean?
What I think is really going to happen is the Force is back and it's pissed. This is actually going to be like the Dolomite version of the Star Wars movies, and we're all duped. That's what I think. I'm probably very wrong.
There's a 3-part episode of 3 episodes of one story in the Clone Wars about a father who is the Force. Like, he is the Force as a human, and he has 2 children, the light and the dark side of the Force, and they're always at war with each other. And if they like can work that in somehow, if anyone has ever watched the Clone Wars, like that's by far the best 3 episodes of all the Clone Wars, and the most controversial. A lot of people fucking hated it. I liked it.
Wow. But so they had it wasn't that there was a real person. This was just like a personification, or
yeah. So like the Force, it just like is a thing, and then it has the light and the dark side manifest through its children, and they're always at odds with each other. It's really, really good. I wish I knew what the episode numbers were right now, but it is, man, if they can work because it's like some theological shit, man, that they deal with in it. It's really good.
It's kind of like in Lost. You didn't experience this, but in like the last season or the next to last season, by the way, now Z Digital 13, who we wished a happy birthday to, is doodling on images of us. Yeah. Like, my microphone is now an angry microphone looking carrot head. It is. Oh, no, here we go again.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to learn, actually, all of NetHeads is nothing but a cover for Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, no, that's all it is.
Not the case. Anyway, in Lost, in like the 5th or 6th season, like out of nowhere, suddenly we see that Jacob is this character, Jake. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to describe it. It's going to sound too stupid.
No, I like it. I like where this is
going. But needless to say, after season after season after season of great mystery, suddenly we learn that there is just a gigantic struggle between darkness and light that is continuously going on. This fucking island they were on.
Exactly.
And then the island they're on was somehow like this focal point for it.
Yep.
You know?
Yep, exactly. Just like in in that episode, that story, there's a part that's not able to be seen on instruments or anything, a part of the universe, but that's where the force is the strongest, and that's why all this stuff is manifest there. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah, no,
interesting.
it makes total sense to me, like in that
That's
sense. But
That's the kind of stuff I like. You know, it's
I
not
do
as
too,
heady.
man.
It's not as heady as that original series episode of Star Trek where you had the people where like they're half black, half white, but the two guys are inverted,
Right?
and they end up going into some zone where they're continuously battling through eternity or some depressing shit. It's not as heady as that, but it's kind of like telling the same story.
I saw they have like a reproduction. Kenner's doing some reproduction toys, like the cloth figured toys, so they look like Migos of that black and white figure. Oh, it's still as creepy now as it was back then, man.
Yeah, that's just a disturbing look for people. Yeah, because I think was it just halved or were they even quartered? I don't know. It was one of those.
I just remember the face. I just remember the face because then Roddy Piper also did something like that once in a pay-per-view event. I want to say it was a WrestleMania, and it made zero sense to me.
Yeah, we saw no connection.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. So anyway, that's where I was going with that. But for Force Friday, at least we did get to learn some stuff. Clearly it was. Maybe it was put together and planned by the same people that thought Prime Day was going to be a great idea.
Oh, I don't know, and I don't know, because I haven't. All I saw were posts from friends and family that like were stoked to get stuff. I had a cousin of mine. Oh man, he picked up a like. I don't know how big it is, but it looked fucking huge. Die-cast, like metal die-cast model of the Millennium Falcon. Holy shit, it looked so like heavy and just I was really fucking jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's fine, dude. The moment I found out some of the cool toys, like the what's equivalent of a drone, a quadcopter drone, but built into a framework of the Millennium Falcon.
What? Are you serious?
Oh, you haven't heard that one?
No.
Oh yeah, and they've done similar things. I don't know how they did them with X-Wings as well. So seriously, I could not. I'm glad I did not bother trying. I would have spent a lot of money just so I could have a friend over and we could continuously make Death Star passes over my pool.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck? It's an exhaust port. You can't shoot something down an exhaust port. That's supposed to be for sucking things out, not for blowing things out, not for sucking things in.
Now, I never took it that way, Trent, but now you've given me a whole new light and to look at the end of A New Hope.
Oh, it changes everything, man.
It's a gigantic homosexual metaphor.
Oh, wait. Now, see, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking, like, it would be hard to, like, shoot something in the exhaust of a car, let alone a fucking space station. You know, the heat that thing's got to be pushing out. Those bombs would have exploded way before they even got to the center of the...
maybe
it's an inside job, man.
Maybe they misrepresented. Maybe it was actually the intake of an exhaust port. Because as you know, in order to have pressure going out, you are going to need something to take additional air in to offset that.
Yeah, no, that's true. That makes
because you put it in that light, and suddenly that 45-degree angle turn that the fucking thing makes when he shoots it which apparently is a miracle, makes more sense because it was kind of drawn in, right? That makes more sense.
Yeah, no, and I also think that it also could have been part of the force was help guiding it as well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I think that, or more to
not
the
just
point,
and
guided it.
Totally. And not just like the shot was only someone with the force could have made that shot. No, I think the force was actually guiding the bombs themselves because like literally it goes up and then it like just goes straight down. It makes like inside, like in space, I don't think anything could do that, like move like that.
No, it couldn't. It shouldn't.
Well,
and that's the thing.
Hear him scream either in space.
And that's no, that was aliens, but I'll still give it to you. Oh, you just mean just in practical. Well, let me ask you this, Trent. The Death Star was too big to be a moon or too big to be a satellite.
Sure. Yep.
I don't know if they said it was too big to be a moon.
That's no moon.
There you go. And so at that point, is it generating some of its own gravity?
Oh, it would have to be.
There you go. See, so maybe now.
I mean, everything is generating gravity to some extent.
This is quite literally the most pointless conversation we've ever had on the show.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like we know for a fact that people have made careers out of talking about the intricate politics of building a Death Star.
Or more to the point, too, there is an alternative cut, my friend, that's acted out with vegetables, where they argue the fact that Star Wars is nothing but a gigantic theological war, that it's a religious war, if you think about it. Because even though you have the rebels, they don't win until you get the involvement of a faction religion, which is the Jedi.
Oh,
in the meantime, the Emperor, who is a Sith, who follows a specific doctrine and religion, so is his kingdom, is his reign, is it actually a theocracy?
I would think it would be. No, it totally would be. And just like any other theocracy, no one ends up, like, everyone ends up not believing in it.
And again, this is something Kevin Smith thought of 20 years ago, so I'm
Right,
not laying claim to it.
I'm like, holy shit, Will, you just broke my brain, man.
Well, somebody else broke mine a long time ago, my friend. Back when I was a young and obsessive man that might do something nowadays, like purchase like a pair of jean jorts and a Edmonton Oilers jersey, but I wouldn't do that now.
No, because you're your own person. You're not a creepster.
Well, Trent, I was watching the Bad News Bears at like 1 o'clock in the morning last night, so it's not like we can claim that I am my own made man.
No, well, let me rephrase that. You have your own identity.
By the way, can I just tell you a little something? Because as everybody knows, the only reason why we are present on smodcast.com is because through one turn and another, I've been lucky enough to be the guy that does a lot of audio processing and other things behind the scenes. Thankful for it every fucking day of my life, I got to tell you.
And me too.
And sometimes there are little things that happen. Like, for example, tonight in Seattle at Bumbershoot, there is a live episode of Talk Salad Bumbershoot. Some event up there.
That's really what it's called?
Dude, can we stay focused, all right? Stay with me.
That's the greatest name ever.
Well, come on, man. What about like when you hear about
Bumbershoot?
Bumbershoot. I don't even know what it is. I'm assuming it's a comedy festival, but who knows?
Bumbles Bounce. Yeah. That's all I think of.
Bumbles Bounce. Anyway, yeah, they went to Seattle and took all the teeth out of the monster's mouth, and now he's friendly. No,
yeah, yeah, he just had a toothache the whole time.
No, look, it doesn't matter. They're in Seattle doing a live episode of Talk Salad and Scrambled Eggs. Now,
perfect place to do it.
Now, when people buy tickets for this event, here's the loophole. They're actually going to be able to show the episodes they're not really talking about or providing, or not really providing a commentary on. You know, take your pick. And they've got backup. Matt has a DVD, and I have also gotten digitally the episodes as well as the subtitles. Now,
nice.
But these are just as a backup for him to have. Little inside dope, though. If they end up using those digital versions I submitted, well, let me just say that commentary tracks are editable.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. No,
or subtitle tracks. Subtitle tracks are editable. So at the very beginning of each one, I put in. So we'll know, or we won't know which version they use, because it's just like on the first one, for the very first moments, it just says like "Welcome to Talk Salad and Scrambled Eggs." And then in the next one, it says, "Oh, look at the pretty red light on the top of the Space Needle." And that's it. And then it moves on. It's nothing but like, it's not off book from that point on. Beginning of the second episode starts off. It says, "Welcome to the second episode." They talk about the Terminator throughout the last one.
Oh, shit, the hernia.
If I don't have a job tomorrow, you now know why, Trent.
Hey, Will, we need to talk.
I don't know what possessed me to do it. It was probably because I just knew that this was the lowest likelihood of the copy that would be used. And I figured it would be one funny thing that would throw them off.
God, dude, that's fucking hilarious.
Mind you, I may have lost my job doing this.
But dude, here's the thing.
What a way to go.
Yeah. What a way to go. And B, I can only imagine how awesome that would be if it did happen that he noticed. It wouldn't even be like an anger thing. It'd just be like, fucking Wilkins.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I hope. Look,
Goddamn Wilkins.
Sometimes I don't make the right decisions, Trent, okay? This may be one of them. Only time will tell. I mean, odds are they will use the DVD version. That makes much more sense.
Right,
And
right.
And
Well,
it would be
because
much
and
easier.
that's what most everyone else would be using as well.
Yeah, well, the times they've been watching them, I think they've been streaming them off of Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which
Hey, speaking of
the year that it's been on Netflix.
yeah, but what did you say?
It's been a year now that it's been on Netflix.
Yeah, obviously, because I think it was just a couple months later this time last year where you were talking about how you were were knee deep into and finishing a marathon of watching Frasier.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And I know I've asked you on the show before, but I'm going to ask you again. How does it feel to be like cutting edge and ahead of the curve of Matt Meyer and Kevin Smith on that one?
No, because, and I can't even say that because I started watching it, especially hardcore after Kevin was on, or after Arlene Sorkin was on Fat Man on Batman, whose husband was the showrunner.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin just kept on talking about how much he loved that show and how he'll put it on and fall asleep to it every night because it feels like family.
Steve Kent, by the way, Stephen D. Kent on Twitter says, if you don't have a job tomorrow, it's because it's Labor Day, you dirty scab.
Hashtag dad joke.
Yeah, that would have been a good one. But no, it just says hashtag NetHeads. But okay, so you're in the same boat then. Never mind.
Yeah, no, but seriously, that's why. Yeah, I mean, sure, it's a couple years different, but yeah.
But still, when it still was on the air when you were growing up, right?
Oh, dude, that was appointment television in our home.
Right, especially
yep.
Given the antenna situation.
Yep. Oh, we got 3 channels.
Right, and so then Frasier must have been some serious dopeness.
Yeah, and then in the winter, we would sometimes get PBS.
And only every once in a while, though.
Yeah, like as a kid, dude. Oh, I was so stoked when winter would come because I'd get to watch Sesame Street.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking of that. I'm all like, oh wow. So did you get to see Red Dwarf? Did you see any Doctor Who? No, dipshit. He was a little kid.
Yeah, it's Cookie Monster, you know.
And by the way, Will, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I was really hooked on the Red Green Show at an early age.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know what I think sometimes. I just forget who I am. Please, baby, don't be mad.
I'm sorry, Kevin Nealon. I take it back, Kevin Nealon. I just get so afraid, Kevin Nealon.
See, when you do that, to me, that as in the parlance Kevin's been using lately, that is just deep cut NetHeads right there.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
I mean, seriously, I don't mean to talk about us too much, but if you think about it, we are on the precipice of having done 200 episodes of this show. What have you done in your? Actually, I don't want you to answer what you've done.
Yeah, no,
at least 200 times in your life.
It's gonna be a real sad answer, Will.
I was a teenager too, and that was more than 200 times, I'm sure, by age 14. Anyway.
Yeah, but at least I mean, there's 365 days in a year.
By the way, Trent, one of the other things we learned from Force Friday, and I was kind of shocked about this. I guess not really, given that because one of the things they say is that Kylo Ren apparently is just like the ultimate Darth Vader fanboy, I guess you would say, right?
Oh, so he's a copycat.
Kind of, yeah. Well, it's okay. Darth Vader is his Kevin Smith. Right. And
yep.
So Kylo Ren has got like Houston Oiler inspired outfit.
Yep.
He's got the jorts.
Dude, it makes total sense, dude. Yeah.
He was wearing Vans, but now he's already gone out and bought New Balance just because Kevin mentioned he likes his New Balance sneakers that he got recently.
And before that, he was wearing Clerks Etnies.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what Kylo Ren is. But one of the things that his character mask or the toy says is that something about one of them is you're just a scavenger, and the other one is how, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically how his goal is to kill the last Jedi or the lone Jedi or something along those lines, saying that there's still just one fucking Jedi out there, and it's still Luke Skywalker.
That piece of shit.
Well, you know, they got to restore maybe the Force is awakened because they got to restore balance. I don't know.
And I was just going to say, do you think, I mean, this is all just conjecture and it won't be relevant, you know, here in like 3 months, but do you think he knows the familial tie then between the Skywalkers?
I wouldn't doubt it. You know, another thing too. Did you see?
Because I don't know if everyone knows that Anakin turned into Darth Vader.
Well, I mean, if you get that far in the story, don't you have
I don't
a clue
know.
at that point?
No,
Well,
but I mean, just like, no, not us, but like people within the universe.
Dude, as long as we're gonna hopelessly nerd out,
I love it.
I say we just. I'm like Immortan Joe. I am pushing the water valves wide open to the people below. If we're gonna do that. By the way, have you seen Fury Road yet?
No.
Okay, dude, it's available on digital. It's coming out on home video. I got to tell you, it is the most. I'm still holding out my arms with the valve. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, what's happening? Is he gonna spray me? Am I gonna get it in the face?
That's the nice thing about the whole, experience is that you see that in the studio we really do mimic the things that we say we mimic.
It's like, just give me the cock already.
Well, actually, Fury Road, Kevin has had an interested way of describing it, which is getting an amazing blowjob, and then when you finish, the person doesn't stop, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh,
That's
hernia.
You all right?
Hernia. Yeah, that's funny.
What did we do to you, Trent? What happened?
I have to push the hernia back in when I start laughing.
Oh God, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know you had.
No,
a
it's
hernia
okay.
too.
Daddy's not mad.
Jesus, get the duct tape, you prick. Oh, by the way, Doug is pointing out we're screaming on a different YouTube channel. I don't want to hear about any tech stuff when we're on the air. Not a bit. I don't care.
Yeah,
Seriously, honest to God, okay, look, we only got a couple more minutes. Before we let the valves go open and we go full nerd, okay?
Right.
What is it? You never go full nerd, but we're gonna go full nerd, okay?
Yeah, we're going there, Jerry. We're going.
We're doing it. We're doing it, Jerry. We're out there and we're loving it. Before we go into that, don't get me started on how frustrating and stupid some of the ways the interconnectedness of Google can be its undoing. You would think it would be very simple that I could, on the NetHeads on air YouTube channel, easily start a new Google Hangout that would funnel through that. Let me just say that for me personally, the experience has been frustrating. So I don't want to hear about it. That's why I partially refuse to look at the camera, and I'm just treating the video as a cinema verite thing. I don't care. I'll pull it down later, and we'll move it where it goes. Don't give two shits right now. As a matter of fact, I think we've already decided this is a problem for Trent to figure out. Clearly, I'm outdated and outmoded. I'm waiting for the junkers to come through and pick me up and send me to the underground lab where I'm cut down and turned into metal. By the way, that's a robots reference, but you don't have kids, so
yeah.
You know. But anyway,
I've seen the show once, I think, or was at someone's house when kids were watching it.
Yeah, and I'll just say it's frustrating as anyone would imagine when you would think something so simple could be done and it's not. So
well, and the best part about this is, Will, when we get done, you're going to check your email and then all things will be solved.
Oh yeah, you think? I hope so, Trent. I don't think so. I'm telling you. I'm going to have faith. Trent, I only can have faith in 4 things in this world. The Almighty Lord, my wife, my children, and you. Yeah, that's it.
Then I think you won't be disappointed on this one.
I hope so, because God damn it, old man, get your shit together. Anyway, if you want to hopelessly nerd out, the first of all, the question I got to ask you, is it too on the nose? Is Finn actually a Calrissian? Is that too on the nose? Do you actually go out there and somehow make the only 2 black people we've ever seen in the series be related?
Well, it's either going to be a Calrissian or a Hood.
Okay, who are the Hood?
Wilro Hood. He's in Empire Strikes Back. He's in like an orange jumpsuit. As the Cloud City is like being like blown up. Mm-hmm. He comes running around a corner holding an ice cream maker.
Hold on, dude.
I'm not making this shit up.
Okay, I want you to understand something, okay? I want you to understand as an abstract what you just told me, because I could personally take that as a description of like video footage that's being shown as shit's going down of people looting. That's what it sounds like you just described to me.
Dude. That seriously is a whole spin on Will Real Hood that I never even thought of. Maybe he was like, "Oh, this place is fucked. I'm getting my I've had my eye in the commissary on that fucking ice cream maker for 17 parsecs now."
Exactly. He's like, now hold on, Trent. Parsecs are distance. They are not a unit of time.
Yeah, I know. Whatever.
And the whole thing about the achievements of the Millennium Falcon is that its nav computer was able to make that particular run in less parsecs than normal.
Oh.
God, I know. It's just sad that I say that, right? Anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is the Kessel Run.
Now, here is the other thing too, Trent, with Finn. Once Instagram decided to break outside of the box, okay, they decided to allow rectangles, and the first thing they did was they ran a 20-second additional footage trailer from Force Awakens, and at the very end we saw part of what we saw before, which was Kylo Ren coming out and lighting up that saber. Then the next shot we see is a wide that pulls in a little bit on Finn lighting up and holding blue lightsaber. Blue lightsaber, Trent, and what people are saying is that's the same one that Luke lost on Bespin.
Oh shit! Then it would have. Well, maybe.
If it really is that one, first of all,
better not be.
If it is, how did he get it? Two, everybody is thinking the same thing I am. What happened to the fucking hand? That's just me.
I would like to. I would like to think they'll have an homage to like Sam Raimi, and it became a character in and of itself.
It's just later on. That's one of the last things we're going to see from one of the last shots of legacy character Luke. Is he's just like, finally I get to relax, and then that annoying hand just creeps up on his shoulder.
Yeah, he just starts running towards him, and you hear the Evil Dead music.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good mashup. I like that. But if it's the case, but that really does ask a lot of questions. But we don't know how he gets it either, because I've always had a theory that at some point Luke would go back and at least try and use the Force. I mean, if anybody could find a random object lost, somebody that could tap into the Force as long as it's willing, like a Jedi never loses his keys, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Right, exactly.
Always tell him where it's at.
Exactly. So in that case, if there's anybody that would go back, it would be a Jedi that could find his lost lights. Because really, you got to think about it. That's like even the bad guys in the movies, when they show that they throw away a gun, once the heat's off, they go back and get it because they don't want some kid shooting themselves with it, right?
Yeah. Or they just break it in half.
No, that's Superman.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Or do you mean the wooden handled ones, like they'll just snap a shotgun?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't there with you. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's fine.
I'll try better keep up. I'm just a dumb old man. Anyway,
keep on turning.
They do, hopefully. Well, that's what the ginkgo biloba is supposed to help with.
Yeah.
And other random sampling herbs, man.
Yeah,
keep you young.
Yeah.
But I think those are the only things that I've gotten out of the toys and out of the stuff we've seen so far. I think it's the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is the way that they do bring the legacy characters back in, if you will. I hope it is kind of a I don't know. I bet you it's going to have kind of a Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of feel to it too.
Yeah, I do too, especially where we saw that teaser of Chewie, we're home.
We're home.
I really hope that's the first time we see them in the movie is that scene in particular, because I would fucking just lose my shit at that point.
Actually, you know what though? I think if you think about it cinematically, by the way, I got to tell you something. Being the fan of a guy that does movies for a living in many ways can ruin watching movies for you.
Oh yeah.
Because I picked up on one thing that Kevin said recently in one of the pods, and it was just that, you never put a loaded gun on screen without it going off sometime. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did finally get to see like Ant-Man, and I'll just say that there was something. It was shown on screen a total of 3 times. I probably already said this, but we'll be unspoilerish here. And sure enough, the first time I saw it, I'm like, okay, why are we being shown this explicit shot that we're being shown?
Right.
Why are we seeing this? Later on, see a close-up shot of the exact same object again. So
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
okay, I'm supposed to see this for a reason. And when you see the object, it's like, okay, well, I know what it is. It's not what it appears, which is a lot of the theme of the movie as well. So
Yeah.
it worked out. Where was I going with that? So now I look at movies and things like that. You never actually show anyone or show anything unless it's meaningful. So now I unfortunately look at things even a little more too analytical than I would like to. And so that's why I'm trying not to get too much into this. But considering we've seen this scene, that means we've already seen that moment. That's not going to be their reveal trend. What we're waiting for now, because we've seen the loaded gun, okay?
Oh yeah. True.
The real
true,
power, the real power is in them finding the gun.
Ah,
So
okay.
we're gonna get all emotional because it's
Okay.
not going to be the first time we see Han and Chewie, but we're gonna see them, hopefully, because this is where the real. I mean, this is where grown men will be crying.
Yeah.
They're not looking for the Falcon, but they stumble upon her.
Okay, see, and I thought it was going to be the grown men would start crying when Jar Jar makes his appearance, and we're all like, "Fuck."
That's not going to be crying, my friend.
Fuck.
That's when people will just cry out, "We're going to burn this mother down."
I had one friend that he's like, "Yeah, I was thinking about going to Force Friday, but I didn't want to end up with the fucking Jar Jar figure at the end."
It's so fitting. It's true, though. I mean, but that's one of the things about all of this, about the new movies and the new plan, is that it's in, I hate to say it, but it's in better hands. It's in the hands of people that know what they're doing in building franchises now.
Totally.
Speaking of which, by the way, one of the things I picked up off of, it's so sad that all of my news comes from my work, but I wasn't aware of this, but Kevin Feige from Marvel, who was kind of like the creative overlooker of the MCU.
Yep.
Apparently, within the company, nowhere else in the world would somebody say this, but within the company, Avengers is kind of deemed as a disappointment. Did you know that, Trent?
Yeah, I've heard that.
So what they did is they took good old Kevin there, the man behind who's kind of steering the MCU, and they got away from the think tank, and they took him out from under who he was being supervised before, and now he like reports to the head of Disney or something.
Which I think that's just fine.
Yeah, well, now it means, because there are certain limitations financially that may have held things back with Avengers or something. So now it's just going to be like he's reporting to a person where he's like, I don't know if it's Iger or somebody else, but it's this kind of person that's just like, oh, we got a problem, throw money at it.
Exactly.
Just where you go, boom. So that's good news. Now, the thing that bummed me out, however, was that it turns out the people that oversee the TV division are staying where he was. So, we're not going to see more, even after the success. I'm not sure we're going to see a lot of money thrown at like the Netflix TV shows and the like. They're not going to throw money to fix those things.
And fuck, they're not broken. They're so good.
I got to tell you, Trent, I'm very excited for you to finally see Ant-Man, because it is just a fun movie. It is so much fun, man. And it's exactly what we need. Oh, by the way, that's what it reminded me of what I forgot about. My summation of Fury Road is just kind of like every time this movie stops to pause, it's for good reason. Because
it's so your asshole can get like a break, because it's so tuckered up, like right around your neck. It's so tight.
Trent, this was one of the most intense movies I have watched in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, so much so that I was just sitting there wrapped with attention. And I literally at one point I had my hand. This is a sign that I'm engrossed and caught up in things, because I was holding my collar right beneath my chin, kind of like trying to, I don't know what this is protecting me from or what it's doing, but it's kind of like I just get bunched up because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so intense, and I kind of get all, ooh, and that's what it's like. I mean, seriously.
It's your version of sitting on the edge of your seat.
It really is. That one, and the amazing thing too is that they made this movie. This is a movie nobody asked for, but it's a movie they knew we would want and watch, and it is just so good. I never would have expected that they could come out with a new Mad Max movie that would actually, and it's not really Max's story at all. He's just kind of in there. the other thing I appreciated with it is the guy that plays Max in this one, who played Bane, whose name I'm not remembering because I'm on mic.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. He actually plays the character Max doesn't have a lot of lines, but he's playing a character that's kind of gone nuts. And there is one point in the movie where he points out the most obvious best plan, which is also the craziest, but he doesn't deliver it in an over-the-top way to deliver it. He just says, this is where your best success is. And they're like, there? And he's like, mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's it, right?
Yep.
And then they're like,
he goes all John Wayne.
Yeah, it's gonna take all this time to go this way and go around and do that way. And he's like, nope, go back the way we came.
Right there.
Right there. And again, they like sum it up, and he's like, mm-hmm. I mean, he's just very contained because he knows what he's saying.
They're like, wait the fuck, hold up. We just came all this way, and now we're gonna turn around and backtrack. And he goes, yep.
Josh Stiffer on Twitter, by the way, says, totally agree. I made the mistake of clicking on it, so now it's not coming through. Sorry. Totally agree on Mad Max is what he said, and the soundtrack was really good too. It was, and they did a clever way of working that in, because this Emotin Joe, the main bad guy, he has, the trailer of it's amps and speakers, and he's got a mutant double guitarist on the front, and he's got guys thumping on big drums in the back. So he's constantly got his battle jam rolling.
Oh yeah, so he announcing that he's coming.
Exactly. Much in the traditional way of war.
Yeah, like when I'm like, and then she's like, I better move.
Yeah, totally agree about Mad Max. The music is amazing too. Builds wonderfully through the whole flick. Yes, I think that's the reason why I got so engrossed. And Matthew Corey says Fury Road was great because it was a good story and it had real vehicles and stunts and not a bunch of CGI. Although I could tell you, I could see that there was CGI enhancement, but they did do a lot of practical effects. Like, you can tell there are really guys that are on giant sticks that are pendulum swinging from one side of a vehicle to the other side of a vehicle in trying to attack and deliver things.
Yeah.
I mean, of all the movies, Trent, I tell you that you definitely have to see. Fury Road is one of them.
Yeah, it's definitely on my to-do list.
As a matter of fact, I think what would be best for you, living room, late at night, lights off, watching that bad boy.
Yeah.
Just so you're fully engrossed in it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure, dude.
Anyway, we tapped a lot of things I didn't expect to, but I really enjoyed it. Did you, Trent?
Dude, I mentally came at least thrice.
Well, in that case, 3 times is all I'm looking for. Now it's finally time for me to have my pathetic 15 seconds, right? And I'm going to spend it by myself the way I always do. So anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Another edition of NetHeads right here. My name is Will.
I'm Trent.
You've been listening to us on none other than, well, actually many different places. But you can always find us at one website. And Trent, what is it?
It's smodcast.com.
Truth.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker signing off.
I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it.
NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
Seriously, that goes by so fast now.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
not the outro, the show. I'm amazed.
The outro's still long.
Lord Almighty, it just keeps going and going, my friend. You feel you know what? You forgot to plug Death Ray though. I rolled right over.
Oh, you know what? That's cool. That's fine. It's all good.
But no, it's important because we need people to know. They need to go to deathraycomics.com and click the shop link.
The more people that go to Death Ray, the more chances I have of seeing movies like Ant-Man.
Exactly. You can see movies, have more than 2-year-old
macaroni and cheese that the welfare cases in the basement left because even they wouldn't eat it.
Even they wouldn't touch it. Now, okay, wait, hold on a second. Before you were selling it as 2-year-old macaroni and cheese past the date. Now you're telling me it's not only that, but it was also welfare leavings.
Oh yeah, totally. No, it totally was. Yeah.
So does that mean every bite comes with a slight satisfaction or a slight taste of both satisfaction and despair?
Yeah. Yeah, mostly I just try not to even think about it anymore. I just push it in and hope I make it through the night.
Let me just eat my mac and cheese and cry. Will leave me alone.
Let me just grind it up so it doesn't get blocked in the Audi of my stomach.
Oh, thank you. That's a wonderful way to think about it. Oh, it's stuck in your hernia even more. I was thinking of your belly button. That made no sense.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, the hernia starts in my belly button, so that makes sense.
Oh, okay. It all comes together then.
Yeah, totally.
Well, just get yourself a cork. That'll fix it right up.
Yeah, I think
right?
so.
That's what the doctors do, isn't it?
Yeah, they put a cork in it.
Well, I think we should too.